6, 7, 8. Hit the count, dip it clean, stand it up, lock it in. Gym lights, head tight, music loud. Friday night, from the car to the mat. Every rep, every set, all hard, all in. Run it back again. Cheer moms, cheer dads, cheer life, no cap. Wow, wow, wow. David. Cheer dads, unfiltered.
Welcome back to Cheer Dads Unfiltered, episode 15. Gents, this one feels a little different. We just crossed our first 1,000 streams, which is really wild. Like, there are actual people choosing to listen to Cheer Dads talk every week. Who would have thunk it? Real quick, too, as you all can see, we do have a little different setup tonight. David's holding it down from home. Him and the kiddos caught something after the crazy weekend that we had. So we're going virtual for this one, which honestly feels kind of pretty on brand for the life of a cheer dad. But what I think has been cool in all this, gents, is we're starting to really figure out what the show actually is and what it's not, right? And at the same time, we're kind of hitting that point in the season 2. We've got I think 4 practices left, David, right? We've got one more comp in regional summit, then banquet, and just like that, year 1's basically done. Which is crazy because it feels like we just dropped into this kind of whole cheer world 5 minutes ago, not knowing a damn thing. And so tonight we're going to talk showcase, daddy daughter stunt class round 2, regional summit coming up, and also zooming out a little bit around what this first season actually taught us. And a question I feel every parent starts asking right about now: what comes next? Do the girls stay in prep? Move up? Do we push? Do we chill? And honestly, do we even know what we're talking about yet? So this one's just us reflecting on year 1, talking through the girls, what we've learned, and kind of soaking in this final stretch. So we shall get into it. Let's start with showcase, gents. Showcase felt like one of those moments where you kind of sit back and just realize how far the girls have come, because I believe we had our first showcase in November, right before comp season kicked off, and now here we are having our final one coming up, or just had. Jeff, when you were there, did you notice more confidence this round, or notice anything different, like how your daughter felt going into this one than when she did when we attacked it in November?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the girls are more excited during this one because they had a lot more confidence. They kind of knew what it was like. They've already competed in multiple competitions, and right this time they were just kind of like, "Hey, we're gonna do this in front of our family." So there wasn't. I don't want to say scared, but they weren't as scared as they were for the first showcase. I think there was you could kind of see it in their faces. There was a lot more confidence, and they were more excited to be there. I think this time, just because there was that confidence, and it was great. Yeah, definitely a lot more confidence this time.
I think so. And do you think with that it's important that these programs do these showcases? Like, I know we've talked through them, right? They bring family, friends, they're closed, they're kind of not, being in a comp per se. But do you think in a cheer program having 1 or 2 of these type of showcases has a benefit and some value to the girls as they navigate the season?
I honestly think the first showcase probably had a lot of benefit in it just because it kinda, it kinda gives those girls on a stage, not maybe a big, huge, like, one up or aloha stage, but definitely puts them on a stage and they can hear a crowd noise and they have to perform. But I think that kinda helps them out a lot before going into a competition, and so I kinda do think, the showcases definitely help out a lot because it kinda eases their nerves as they go into bigger competitions, like we're getting ready to go into Summit. So maybe the showcase kinda, was like, "Hey, let's shake off the nerves. Let's do it. It's just our family here this time.
Mhm.
Let's kick some butt and, yeah, definitely show what we got." So, yeah, I definitely think showcases do provide a lot of confidence and definitely shaking off those nerves before bigger competitions. So, to be honest with you, it's kinda like football, right? What did you do right
I was
before
going
a
to
big
say,
football
yeah.
game? Dress rehearsal, right?
Hmm.
So to me, this is a dress rehearsal. You're going through all your plays, through your progression so that you're ready for the bigger competition. So I commend USA Gym for doing the showcases because I definitely think it's important.
That's what I think, as I was going to say, is I think it's about, just like a scrimmage game, right? Dress rehearsal before football. That's what I was going to
Mhm.
bring up. So I'm glad you kind of brought that up because we did it, right? Athletes do it, just like cheers, athletes. So I think it has value. It helps them. Definitely the one in November. I'm glad we got to go through it as parents because we kind of got to see, like, we learned that during what is it, clap up down hit. We got to do stuff, or we cheer them on during dance. Like all of a sudden, people are cheering. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do we have to do now? This time around, I was like, oh, I know exactly what we're doing. I got this. Let's jump in. Um, David, what was it like when we had a small blummer in our showcase because our music cut out. Remember that? Did you remember the music cutting out midway? What was that? What kind of went through
Yeah, right, right
your
in the pyramid.
what went through your head as soon as the music cut out?
Yeah, but I heard it kind of cut out, came back, cut out, came back, and it was right during the pyramid too, which is we didn't even do the pyramid the first showcase that we did.
You remember that? Yeah.
And so the girls stayed right on count. But yeah, it immediately reminded me of that like viral video that's going around of like the entire stadium with the team's music goes out like 2 seconds of their routine, and the entire stadium is yelling the counts for them to like finish their entire routine. So I was like, I think it was great practice for them. That happens in a tournament. They now know what to do and not just stop. I was impressed that they didn't stop at all. They just continued.
That's what I was going to ask. Were you a little shocked by our athletes that happened? And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of like, oh, they really just kept going. I was taken back by it because I kind of thought they would like look at each other or have some type of reaction. Were you surprised that they didn't kind of have that reaction and the group carried up, they started doing their count and were ready to roll?
Yeah, I think we had a couple people who definitely. I think some of the team definitely stopped. I think it was a learning moment for sure. I think some people probably didn't even realize the music stopped and were just doing their routine. But other people definitely realized it stopped and kind of stopped. So definitely, I don't think we did perfect with it, but I'm happy that it happened during showcase, so that they can talk to the kids and they learn from it going into a competition. So if it happens again, they know what to do. But like so, I was impressed at how quickly they continued the routine, despite I don't remember that ever happening or us ever practicing that.
We've lost shoes, we've
Yeah,
lost glasses, we've done some other
yeah,
things, but our music has not
yeah.
cut out on us. What about for you, Jeff? What was your initial reaction, kind of seeing the music cut and the reaction the girls played into it?
I mean, it was weird, right? Because you don't ever want that to happen to your team. So the music cut out. I was like, "Oh no!" But then what was crazy is almost immediately the other girls on the other teams immediately started doing counts for them, and so did the entire crowd, which was crazy. Like, so we were all doing the counts for them. So it's kind of like they didn't need music because the count kind of carried them through, which is really awesome.
I think that's again just circling back to that. I know we said it a few times on the season is that I just love the bonding and the friendship and the support that all of these athletes do for one another during stuff like that. Like that video you brought up, David, was huge for me. And seeing like music goes out in that
Yeah.
stadium and everybody just came together and it was like everybody knew and it just does something for you as athletes, right? To just know the crowd is behind you. It's like in a football game at halftime show where they're doing the whole what is it, like the Metallica thing, or they start stomping their feet, "We will rock you," and the whole kind of stadium goes. Just kind of
Yeah.
provides you a little oomph. Now, at Showcase, David, I want to ask you because we had a special moment happen for Everly, right? And in this showcase versus how the season's been going, kind of last few weeks, she's gotten to dabble. Why don't you kind of take us through what happened at this showcase and what was so different than what happened in November and kind of the moment that Everly had this time around?
Yeah, yeah. So like you mentioned, Everly's kind of been able to jump. We've had a lot of kids that were either sick or injured or missing, and they've kind of moved around in a bunch of different spots to kind of fill in. So she was side basing, she was front spot. And then this last week, one of our flyers went down sick and was going to be sick for the showcase as well. And so was it Thursday night? She basically found out that she was going to be filling in as one of the flyers, which she's never done before, and for the pyramid section. So she had to kind of learn that whole thing and just practice. I mean, for me as a dad, obviously, it's just a really proud moment for me to see her like a lot of I was expecting her to like panic, for her to be like super nervous, for her to be like, I can't do this and
Do
crying
you
and
remember,
realize this
Jeff?
is the showcase and like, oh
Do
yeah,
you remember
you
that,
guys,
Jeff?
I was
When
standing up, I couldn't sit still, man.
I did. It was the greatest
Yeah.
moment, David, because you were hunched over
Dude,
the
he went
railing.
from like Yeah, he went from like talking to us and having like a good time to like,
He was locked
Yeah.
in, and his
and
forehead was
his
red,
face
his
was
knuckles
redder
were
than
red.
that. His face was so red.
Yeah.
I
No, I
loved
mean, like
it.
I said, it's just something that like for me to see it just goes back to that we keep talking about confidence, like to see that confidence in her that she's like I could tell she was nervous at first, but it only took a couple of her teammates to be like, "You got this," and they were all encouraging her and telling her great job and giving her tips here and there. And I just thought they would like so as a team, it was a proud moment for me to see the team kind of surround her and help her out and stuff like that. And then for her to go to the routine with just one practice of, and then to do and it went well. I mean, it wasn't perfect or anything like that, but she, didn't screw up. Nobody fell. No one did anything like that. And so for one practice, I was, for her to go out, and we had family members there. I had my aunt, my cousin, my cousin's kids were. I mean, it's a lot of family there, and she was not nervous at all. Like she was ready to perform and show us, and that was just really cool because that was a year ago. That would have been the case. She would have been super nervous and wouldn't have wanted to do it, and so it was cool. It was a really cool moment.
That's what I was
She
gonna
did a good
ask
job
you
too.
is she did, right, Jeff? What was your take on it, right?
I
Watching
thought,
a
I
fellow
thought,
dad kinda have that moment with his daughter, right? We're
yeah,
fully
man,
supportive of
it
one another.
was, yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Again, I was watching Ruby most of it, so it's hard for me to like focus on Everly back to Ruby. So,
Yeah.
because that's the moment. I mean, that's literally the moment that Ruby goes up to in the pyramid.
Yep.
So it's hard for me
Yep.
to like focus
Yeah.
all my attention over there, but I did. And I looked over and I was like, oh man, Everly's up. Oh, look at she's doing it. There it is. She's got it. Yep. So and then I
Yeah.
kind of looked over at you and you're like locked in, man. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, she's got this. She knows it. But it's just
Yeah.
confidence, man. These kids have all the confidence in the world and they got it. They're
Yep.
locked.
Yeah.
Well, that's like so. That's what football did for me. Like my coach came to me like the day before a game was like, "Hey, I need you to play quarterback." I'd be like, "Let's do it. Let's go." Like stupid
Right.
confidence, like I'm gonna go out there and get. I can't bear. I can, I can't throw the ball accurately at all. But I would still, if he asked me to do it, I'd be out there in a second doing, whatever the coach wanted me to
Oh yeah,
play. I'll be out
100%.
there playing it. Wants me to play
100%.
free safety, I'll do it. Thinking that I'm probably gonna be the best free safety ever type thing. There was just the confidence that I had playing sports, and so to see that in her, of like, not only like am I gonna be not nervous about going out there, but I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna do really well. Like, that was really cool. Yeah, I love it.
It's a very, very cool moment, especially given how this year has went. I think as we reflect and we kinda go through I never got to experience the closing of a season, and it does get sentimental. As I start to see the posts,
Hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, man, we are wrapping up, like, this is crazy." But to see the growth of Everly all this time, right, and where she's at now and doing that moment to be a Flyer, and like you said, one practice, and I mean, it was actually very impressive. We've struggled in the pyramid, and Everly didn't so much. She kinda got it. She knew to slide the arms, and then to have that moment for your family and friends, right? Because I believe we don't think she will be doing that in actual regional summit comp, right? We don't. I think it was just a fill in,
No,
just
no,
because
yeah,
of
she'll be back she should be back tonight. Yeah, she was sick on Thursday. They were still going to be sick Saturday. I guess her whole family was pretty sick. It was something that was enough where they knew that she was definitely going to be out Saturday, so they just had her fill in. But yeah, she'll be going back to her normal spot coming back. But it's just good experience for her next year. The hard part about cheer, right, is they have to decide those first like what 2-3 weeks what everyone's going to do, where they're going to be, and those kind of things. And so if you show 3 months into it, oh, you could be a decent Flyer. It's too late. Like everyone already has their spots. And so this is just really cool for her to get that exposure and be able to be able to next year hopefully get one of those spots that she really wants.
Well, yeah, but the
you
coaches
know.
saw that too. The coaches saw that she was able to step into that position. She didn't argue. She didn't say no. She didn't, look scared or say I'm too scared to go up. She stepped up. She had, like you said, had one practice, and then she was up there doing it in a showcase, man. So if I'm a coach and I see a kid that's willing to step up like that, guess what? Guess what they're doing next year? They're doing a lot more
Hmm.
than they're doing this year. I can guarantee it.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I think she showed who and what she is, and I think that was awesome, man. Kudos to Everly, bro. She did awesome.
Huge moment. Dads out there, you know what it's like, right? You want the best for your kid. You're always looking for them to get that spotlight, get to be seen, cherish those moments, and it was very cool, David, to see Everly have that moment. So I think from Showcase, it was just cool confidence, just the swagger these girls had, the comfortability we all had. I wasn't like knuckling the ground this time like I did last time. Like it was cool. I think we were just so yeah, they're just gonna run through it. This is great, cool. We were in and out. We had 4 prep teams, and we were like, cool, great, have a great day. When the first time we were like, oh god, place was packed. It was just crazy nerves.
Yeah.
And
It was
now
only,
you know
it was
we're
what, like 25 minutes, if that?
yeah.
If
Hmm.
that,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
quick.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was very
Hmm.
quick. Yeah. You know, they switched scheduling around thinking that all these families were going to come. It was going to be mass filled. Didn't turn out that way. Everybody's like, we've seen it. Even our wives, right? They were like, come on now. At this point, I've seen the routine. I know, you know, we've seen it how many times now? But it's good for the girls, right? And I'm excited as they now go into regional summit. I think they're very solid. Now, I want to pivot because right after showcase, so we do showcase, cool. Everly has her moment. Dad had his moment too. David got to step into some cool stuff as me, him, and Jeff actually stepped into daddy daughter stunt class round two,
Round two.
which was just round two, right? It was just awesome. We said after the first one, we really wanted, we could do it every Saturday. We were in, we were hooked. Um, but this was just kind of one of those kind of best reminders of what being a cheer dad can actually look like, right? We talk about this, the present dad, the engaged dad. Jeff, I wanted to know, like, did your daughter seem more comfortable with you this time as kind of you walked into the daddy daughter this time around, or were you guys nervous again? What was kind of lead up going into this one to support Team Rain?
I think even last time, the first time that we did it with Shaq, Ruby has zero fear, man. I don't know what it is, but she has zero fear. She'll go on roller coasters. She'll run into the ocean. She just zero fear, man. So the whole daddy daughter son class, even the first one, she's zero fear. She was ready to rock and roll. She's looking at me like, why aren't you throwing me up higher? You know what I mean? I'm like, because I can't. But I think it was more this time I had less fear because I knew it was coming. I knew, not that I know how to base or do any of that stuff, but
This
I think
guy,
Shaq did
he's
a
a
pretty
vet now,
well.
David. He's logged
I
in
think
now.
Shaq did a pretty good job of the first time kind of showing us a lot, man. So this time I was kind of like, we're kind of them dudes. We know what we're doing, but at the same time we don't. But I just think this time there was a lot more confidence on both of our part. She knew what to expect. I knew what to expect, and it was just all fun from there, man. Yeah.
Me and David did not have that same outcome. Mad respect
Nope.
to Rubes, because Rube is that girl just dives in. I envy it. I'm
Zero
like,
fear.
dang man, yeah, she's just that's what you want for your kid is those moments of we teach them that fear should never stop you from anything, right? We live with it as adults. We won't do certain things. It happens over life, but in these moments, you're like, don't just try, go have a good time. And for David and I, it was like Everly and Izzy did not want to do certain things. David, take us through kind of what the
Yeah.
lead up was that you told Everly, right? We're doing this again. What was your initial reactions to then going in class and kind of being like, yeah, you ain't gonna throw me?
Honestly, she was super excited for it, and we've been we go to the pool, our neighborhood pool all the time, and we do the toss to
Oh,
hands
are you
in the
doing
pool
partner
all the
stunts in the
time.
really,
Yeah,
David? You
I mean
didn't tell us that.
I do it with all the kids now. I mean, Mila
Oh,
does it. I mean, even Noah, I'll pick him up with one hand over my head and then throw him in the
are
water,
you
and
doing that,
so
Jeff?
we do that. We do it all the time when we're in the pool, and then we get there, and Everly was really excited going into it, and then Sherry gave her speech about safety, and
Yes.
it scared the crap out of her. I could see in Everly's face, like she's like, "Wait, following's an option? Like, why do I need these spotters? Like, I'm concerned with this." And she's like, "We're not going to do this. We're going to do this." And like, she's like, "We may do it when we let people go." And like, I could tell Everly's face was like, "Oh, there's danger here." And I was like, "Dang it, it's gonna
Yeah.
be hard to get this out of her head."
Izzy did the same thing, right? Immediately looked back at me. We're not going to do the flick. So for those that are cheer
Mm.
dads that you're maybe not involved, like or not involved, but like haven't done a class or understand some of the stuff these girls do, you lift them and they're supposed to flick off of you. You flick your wrist, they push off, and they go above you. And the girls were not for it. Rubes was. She was like, Jeff, throw me to the roof. Yeah, Dad, throw me. And Everly and Izzy just ran off to a corner. We're like, yeah, we're not doing that. So all we got to do was just do a standard kind of lift. We lifted, no flick, brought them back down, kept it clean. But I will say, David, I am actually very proud of them, and I know they felt that after because they did fight, but they did it. They did do it. We didn't do the flick, but they did do the basing. They did go up full extension at the top of our structure. What was
Yeah, they
that
all
like
went
for
up.
you in that moment? Yeah, they all went up. Everybody did end up doing it. Like they were just scared. The safety speech hit them. Again, I dropped my daughter in round one. So recommendation to those dads, don't drop your daughter.
Yeah.
It was in the final 5 seconds of class. She was up on my shoulders taking a picture. She did the number one cheer rule not to do, don't lean forward. And she leaned forward and I just couldn't react in time and met big red, as Coach Queen would say. So going into round two, I was shocked she even showed up. I'll be real honest. Jeff was like, immediately upon sign up, yeah, dog, is he going to do that though? Like, what, are you really going to go? And I was like, yeah. You were
Yeah, I
like,
didn't know,
I was
man.
like,
Izzy last time Izzy was
she
not
was,
excited to yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
I
Trooper
noticed
though,
as
man.
soon
um,
as
She came
class
through.
was as soon as class was over, Izzy was not hanging around for pictures. We turned
Yeah,
around, we
I'm not
couldn't find
doing
her out. She
pictures.
was
Nope.
already over by the water. She's like, nope, not doing that again. That's
she
where it
was
all went
gone.
south last time.
But I think,
Yeah.
David, it was cool though, because they did do it, right? And I was really, I don't know, man. I am just getting more and more proud of these girls and what they're willing to lean into. Because it was cool, right? They had the team rally them, and Shaq even was great as a coach, being like, "Girls, stop it! You get up there, you do what you got to do." What was that like for you? That after that initial tug of war, you kind of didn't bully, you didn't cave. You were that dad of like, "Hey, we're gonna do the hard stuff, right? In a healthy way, but we're gonna do the hard stuff." And she did it. What did that mean for you once she did do it, and kind of that reaction after?
Yeah, I think it, like you said, builds that confidence. You know, when you have that fear and you push through it and you do it, it's like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. And so if I can do this, I can do other things. And so that's always for me. If it's something I know is safe, right? I know I'm not going to let her fall. Like there's no chance between the
I
three
said
of
the
us that
same
we
thing
let her
too,
hit
David.
yeah. But I'm saying, like,
Just
when there's three of us there, there's no
yeah,
chance that she's hitting that ground that we're all, going to drop her. So, if she's safe, I forget what the quote was, but somebody that says like, if your kids are doing something dangerous, like carefully and doing it, like you should let them do it and be there to support them. But it's just, I think it's important for confidence to do hard things and to push through them. So if I thought, someone said, hey, let's throw her to the rafters, I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. That's probably not very safe. But I felt safe doing what we were doing, so I definitely felt comfortable kind of pushing her a little bit to take that risk.
agreed. Jeff, on a more lighter note, what would you say? What was the part of round two that made you laugh the most? Did you have a moment in this class where you were just like belly laughter of just like, what are we doing out here?
Yeah, man, we're doing the dance. For sure, man. Like when Sherry comes out, she's like, "All right, we're gonna learn a dance." So I was like, "No, we're not."
What?
But we did, man, and we did awesome. And hey, like, we
Yeah.
did a good job. So yeah, when we all did the
Yeah.
dance, that was hilarious, man. And it was just
Watching it back, that was really funny. Doing a full 8 count routine, there, full dance. Um, and then we all agreed at the end, right? Hit him with the aloha,
Yeah.
yeah,
throw the thumbs out.
Yeah. Get a little
I don't
extra
know.
points.
I thought it was a bonding experience for us too. I thought it was fun
Yeah.
because also in round one, we didn't get to be partners, right? We did a couple
Yeah.
things with our
That's true.
daughters, but somehow, some way we didn't pay attention and we got broken up. And so poor David was over here, and then me and Jeff were in a group, and it's all thanks, guys. Where this one immediately, when they were like, "Hey, pick some people," we were like, "Oh, we're right here, we're locked in." So I think that was really cool. But it was goofy to do the routine. What, David, for you, what did you learn actually doing the stunts that you don't get from watching? Your daughter's up there. You've seen her do some of this stuff. She is a base. What did you actually learn round two, kind of doing it from just watching them on stage do it?
Yeah, I think the importance of the counts, right? There's all three of us, especially the group ones, right? All three of us are lifting, she's standing. Everything has to be on count. So if one person goes all the way up to extension, the other person's still down at prep, you know, you're gonna send your flyer, off to one side or the other, and so all that stuff just it was clear how important the counts were and how much just being one count off, as we've seen in previous routines, one count could be a huge difference. And so it's a lot easier to sit up in the stands and tell our girls to, remember your counts and be on count. And then we were there struggling to be on counts, and we were just dealing with like
I
one
was
lift.
terrible
So
at counts. I was terrible at counts. You know what I will say? What I learned from it, I got a lot of respect for like the back spot. Because when you made me
mhm.
switch and you were like, yo, you go back there, I wasn't paying attention to your spot. I didn't know what you were doing. And you were like, all right, it's you now and we'll swap. I messed it all up, didn't I, Jeff? You remember that? I totally be in the back
I
spot.
wasn't gonna say anything. Tom, I wasn't
Oh,
gonna say anything. I was gonna behave. I woke up this morning not chasing hate, but yeah,
I was just like, man, I was like, I cannot be a back spot. And learning count was
yeah.
just tough.
Jordan made a good decision when he sent you that email saying thanks for the time.
Nah, yeah, let me be the flyer. Throw me up in the air. Let me do the flying. I have a lot of respect for these athletes, and I think David, at one point, you even said it to me. We laughed on episode 8 through their eyes with the girls when they were like, "Oh, smiling, counting, doing everything with a lot." I 100% this round, like, understood
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I think you looked at me and you were like, "Dang, man, like, the counting, I can't smile." Like, we were forgetting to do the smile in the
Yeah.
shoulders because we're and I was stressing because you have a person. I think, Jeff, you said it, right? Is it harder than football? I'm living it now, and I'm 100% in agreement that it's harder than football. Like, this is
That dance we
ridiculous.
did, man, because I wanted to do all the facials. I wanted to do the extra stuff, right? I want to be like, I'm gonna shimmy my shoulders. I'm gonna do it, and the whole time I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking of the counts, but then I'm thinking of the counts. I'm like, oh, I got my face, and then I forgot my counts, and I'm like, there's no way, man. In football, I just got to hit somebody, point this way, hit the guy with the football. That's it.
Yeah,
You
doesn't
know what I
matter
mean?
what face you're making.
No,
It doesn't matter.
oh man, yeah, it doesn't matter. But I'm just telling you, man. I'm sorry, but the cheerleading, I think all the way around, man.
Yeah.
Even sideline cheer is probably harder than the football, man. Like it just,
I I'm telling you,
there's no
dude,
way.
yeah, I did you gain a new level of respect for these guys, Jeff, and kinda, like, in this class? Because I got it now. I don't think it class 1 wasn't like this. I don't think I walked away with that like, I felt physical. I felt a very physical gasp after round 1 when we did it with Shaq. That was new to me. But this one, I walked away with mental burnt out. Like, I was mentally fried. It wasn't a physical thing. I was just fried at, like, all the stress of all of that. Did you feel walking out of this you were more physically burnt out, or that you were, like, more mentally burnt out from that 2-hour class,
Kind of those.
or both?
I just had more of a respect for. I think we're up there like, man, I don't know why these kids aren't making faces. It can't be that hard, you know what I mean? And they're not doing it through transitions. And I'm like, come on, guys, like make the face, let's go. And then when it came time for us to do it, it's hard.
Yep.
So I think I'm just going to keep my mouth shut from now on upstairs. They're not going to have to shush us anymore. I'm just going to be like this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
it's intense and it's hard, and shout out to all these kids and athletes that are in competitive and sideline cheer. It's impossible, man. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know how they
freaking
do it.
out,
I
gents.
don't.
I'm freaking out about, like, level 5 or level 6, bro. Like, we rookies, dog. We're doing prep stuff. It's a daddy stunt class. We're come on, man. People are gonna laugh and be like, "You guys," and until you live it, you're not gonna know. It was aggressive. If you've done a daddy stunt class or you've done a stunt class with your kid, you let us know because it is tough. But go be level 5, level 6. Oh, what about for you, David? Were you gassed from, like, a mental standpoint, or were you gassed from, like, a physical as you kinda closed it out with Everly? I'm sure you wanted to pass out in the truck on the drive home.
Yeah, I was sweating, man. It was hot in there. There's a lot of guys. I mean, last time we had what, 6, 8 dads show up,
Oh, yeah,
maybe, and 3 or 4 of them were from our team. And then this time there had to be what? I think there's 30
30,
dads that were
30.
there,
I had to
and
have
some
It
of
been,
them
was
yeah.
cool.
had
There's a
multiple
lot of
daughters that were
dads.
there. I mean, that place was packed. And it also was just really cool to see the camaraderie of the entire group. It's like we're all getting up there doing things we're not comfortable, like the dance part. Like it would have been really easy for us to sit back and but it's like, yeah, I mean, everyone was just giving it their all, and all the dads were encouraging their dads and cheering and laughing and having fun with it, and so that was really cool to see. But I, I was definitely physically tired. Like I mentioned, my daughter had a dance tournament
Yeah,
that same weekend, so we had just been dance, cheer, dance, back to dance again the next morning, and then cheer that afternoon. So I was worn for sure, but it was a blast. Like I said, I would do it every weekend if they did it.
I would highly recommend to the dads out there, when you jump into next season, you see that get circulated through the gym that you're at or on social media, like, find a way to go there. Take your kid, go do it with them. Um, because even afterwards, me and my daughter now, and I think she's taken so much joy in it, we have a routine together. And I think that was so special for her. We've done it, I don't know about you two, but I have done that routine probably 50 million more times since
The
class, and it's
dance,
only
yeah,
Tuesday.
like seriously, probably every day. Yeah, every day she comes
Every
home
day,
from
bro.
school, she wants to do the dance.
Yep.
Yeah,
She wants me, and she wants to show everybody. She's like, "Hey, Dad, can we go show the
Everybody.
neighbors?" I was like, "What? The neighbors?" I was like, "I don't need to see." I was like, go out front in the street, have the whole neighborhood come out.
see,
Hey,
dude,
we're
I
just
went.
gonna,
We went out on the street and showed the neighbors, and we showed everybody at Target and everybody at Walmart and everybody at Fry's. Like they know,
I
they know,
I think we need to
they
talk
know we
to
share now.
I think we need to talk to Sherry, gentlemen, and at banquet in front of all teams, we just busted out at the end in the intro. I'm in if you guys are. I'm definitely thinking we should do some cool. Hey, the cheer dads are here. They're gonna do it. I would have a blast. I think people would love it. And the dads are actual dads, I think, because they were there. We had that was what was cool is I
Yeah.
think we had 8 of us
Starlight
from
showed up, man.
actual
That was cool.
Starlights. Hey,
Yeah.
Starlight showed up, dude.
We
Yeah,
had
showed up.
Adam,
that was
Zach,
rad.
Mike, all showed up. That was awesome.
We had the dad with the twins. He had 2 girls. We were like, "Hey, how you doing it with 2?" You know what I mean? He had the twins, and we were like, "Oh, I never thought
He
about
did
that."
it though,
Yo,
man. He
hey,
did
bro,
it. That
he
was
did it.
awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Zach. And I thought that was a cool bonding experience for us because we got to meet those dads a little bit. It's hard for dads to make friends. It's hard for dads to do that kind of vulnerable stuff in front of one another. And to your
Yeah.
point, Jeff, I felt like, or I think David, you said it, like everybody showed up. Everybody was there. There was no judgment, no egos. Yeah, we made jokes at the dudes who were like jacked up, looking solid, making us feel like junk. I was like, oh, geez, these guys.
What do you mean
Uh,
us? What do you mean? What do you mean
sorry.
us, Tom? What do you mean us,
I
Tom?
do it
You
every time. I group us all
you
in.
you,
I'm just
you were
the
talking about me
weakest
and
link.
Jeff?
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
What?
Being next to
What
you
was Tom
2,
saying?
man, Cheer Dad's calendar's coming soon to y'all. We got the calendar dropping. Yeah, see?
April
The gun
1st.
show, April 1st. But, it was cool to see that camaraderie, get us closer to the dads as well. So I just thought it was a lot of fun, man. I thought it was really great. So for those dads out there, definitely go do it. What I also thought was cool, and I will end on, is a mom came through. Because shout out to those moms that may not have the kind of daddy daughter thing. And I will tell you, we had a mom show up with her daughter, and like huge respect to that. I thought that was so cool. Even Team Rain was like, "Oh, all the parents," because they weren't like, "Hey, dads," it was very cool. So if you're a cheer mom, don't have that, or a cheer athlete, ask your mom, right? Ask somebody to come with you. It doesn't have to be specific kind of daddy daughter. So I thought that was cool. Now,
Yeah, it was
gents,
cool. It
we are
was cool
at
that there was no
the
judgment. It really was.
Yep.
It was, right? It was cool. I felt dudes have a hard time with that stuff, right? Being out there like that, making fools of ourselves or the
It's a
timing,
lot though.
some
I
dads.
mean, because you're going to do something that you're not used to doing, and you're with your daughter. But I mean, that's unfortunate. That's the reality of being a girl dad, is that we can be as goofy and silly as we want, and it's just
That's right.
fun, man. And it's not. I understand it's not fair to some of the boy dads because they can't. They got to be hard all the time. We don't. We just got to be hard when the boy shows up to our house. You know what I mean?
That's it.
But
That's
until
it, bro.
then, we are the chief fun officers, and man, it was a good time, and all those dads there, man, everybody was cool with each other. There was zero judgment. You know what I mean? When everybody was up dancing, we are the biggest cheerleaders for everybody in there, man. It was fantastic, and shout out to Team Rain too, man, because they pumped everybody
Uh,
up too.
Shout out to Team Rain
Team
and
Rain brought it
Sherry.
hard and pumped us up, man. It was awesome. And
That's it.
Sherry was amazing.
They
It was a
educated
good
us,
time,
right?
dude. It really
They
was.
broke down the moves
Oh
for
yeah.
us. They were so supportive. They were patient. They were showing us how to do things, where to shift our hands, how to do certain movements. And I mean, they were even showing the actual stunts. I thought that was so cool, right? Watching them do it because it's so natural. Like shout out to River. River, I watched her from Team Range. She was doing the routine for the girl, like seeing how it should look. Like, don't get me wrong, our girls are in prep. They're not. My biggest complaint of this season, if I have to reflect, is I just wish the group would have been tighter, like fast, really, really going. And we just seemed like we kind of slowed into motions. We weren't like super on it. So watching River and like DJ partner up and go through it, and then Shaq and the other girl, like I thought that was so cool because you got to see it. Bam, 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 and I was
Yeah.
like, oh shoot, whoa, okay. And then Bella kind of picked that up too, and she was like, oh, okay. I was like, girl, go. You don't have to like move. So I thought that was cool. But with that said, we are at a point where the season is almost over, gentlemen. Do not cry on the show.
Yeah,
There
it's
are some
sad.
tissues nearby. But regional summit is next week. Last comp of the season. It's very, very exciting, but also kind of sad. This is it. Jeff, I gotta ask, how are you and Ruby feeling going into now the last 4 practices and next weekend being the kind of final drop, of the season being regional summit? How you guys doing?
I don't think it's hit either one of us yet. If this is the final, the final countdown, if you will. I don't think it's hit us yet. I think it will once we finish out Summit, and it's like, okay, this is the last competition. I mean, and once they get first place at Summit, like I know they're going to, and we walk
Yeah.
out of there Summit champions, like I know they will, because we have the best coaches in the world, and we're going to do this. But anyway, it really hasn't sunk in yet. It hasn't, and I don't think it will until. I mean, it's kind of like anybody that's played any sports, and I contributed to like when I played football. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit you until you're in the locker room and you take the pads off for the last time. And fortunately for our kids, they're not taking the pads off for the last time. This isn't goodbye. This is see you next season. You know what I mean?
See you in a
I
couple
don't I don't
weeks.
feel like right. See you in a couple weeks. But I don't feel like it's going to hit them as hard just because I feel like they're going to remain friends and they're going to continue to do their privates and their tumbling classes and prepare for next year. But it's hard, and I get that. As an athlete, I understand, again, your last competition, it's tough. It really is. And I do attribute it to, like I said, taking the pads off for the last time. It's tough.
Yeah.
What about for
Yeah.
you,
They're never
David?
gonna have the same team again. They're never gonna have that same
That's
team again, And so
that's
as
the
much as it
piece of
is
it,
like
right?
next year, it's not like, I played Pop Warner. It's like we had the same quarterback on my team, right? Every year. I moved up with the same kids every year because each year you only play 1 year at each level there. Here it's like our girls are 8 and there's girls on our team that are 12, right? Like they're probably never going to be on a team with these girls, maybe again and things like that. So it's I think that's why it's a little bit more like it is. It's like this team is done and now there's a new team for next year. It's not like a continuation. It's kind of different. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I agree. I keep telling everybody, like hoping that it hits her. So they just, I see these memes all the time. Like, don't forget, season's almost over. Like, treasure this time you have with this team because this team will never be the same. Those kind of things. And, but yeah, I don't think it hits yet. I mean, it's kind of weird for us too because like we have an end of our season, but then like they still have some practices afterwards through April because we like paid for April. So I
David,
think
he's
it'll be a
getting his
little bit
bang for
harder
his
for them
buck out of
to.
that one.
Yeah, oh yeah, she'll be at every
He's like, we're
practice.
showing up.
He's like, hold up. I paid for
Yeah.
April.
Hold
I'm
up.
getting
I paid
April.
for April.
Yeah, the less people who show up, the more likely we will show up. That means more one-on-one time. So we'll definitely be there. But yeah, I think it doesn't really hit yet. I think it will at the summit, like you said. It's usually for me it was always like that bus ride back and things like that. You realize like, oh, it's over. Like
I think it'll be banquet.
yeah.
I think it'll be banquet. I don't think Bella's really brought it up. Izzy hasn't really said anything, or get that like we're actually at the end. But it'll be interesting, right? Because yeah, we'll finish regional. We have our banquet as a full gym and team, and then that's it, right? The girls will be done. That current Starlights team will be no longer. A lot of those girls will move on. Some will not be returning. And I'm interested to see how that plays out from that side. But it will. I think banquet will be where I will get hit with it. Izzy will get hit with it. Maybe end of April because we do have those extra practices, David. But when that first week comes, when they don't have cheer practice, that's when it's going to hit
Yeah.
hard, right? Like
Yeah.
that first week of May where they're like, "Hey, Tuesday night we're going to cheer," and you have to say, "No, sweetie, we're not. It's we're done." That will be like, well, oh, okay. I feel like that's where Izzy will kind of hit it. But as you said, and a lot of people know, and for those dads that if you're listening and you don't know, there is no end to the season. Let's just call it what
No.
it is. I think every vet has told us, like, guys, it's not over. Now, we're not on All Star. Let me make that clear. So we're not going to tryouts in May. We do get a break versus the others. They're going to go to World Summits, all of that, and then tryouts are like 2 weeks later for the next season. We're not that. We're not that. We're going to end in April. We'll have May and June off, and then we have July tryouts, and then season 2 in August. But we'll have tumble. I know Izzy is doubling down during this time. All right, I'm leaning in. I'm going to have her be doing 2 privates, stunting and tumbling. So she gets about 90 days before next season to really just stay in it a little bit. Are you guys doing anything for the girls during kind of that time to kind of keep them situated? or nah, you giving them a full break, letting them ride vacations, kind of hang out?
No, we're not doing. We're gonna because we're going to go on vacation here. I don't want to say when, but we're gonna be going on
No.
vacation here during the summer, and we already sent a tumbling truck to the place we're going vacation to, and so when she goes there, she's gonna be able to practice. But yeah, so we're still
There you
gonna do
go.
the yeah, we're still gonna do the privates and the tumbling class until then. So
There
yeah,
you go.
it's just gonna be nonstop.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
Everly's just
crazy.
replacing cheer with the tumbling class essentially, and then we still have her privates. We'll continue those for the summer. Try to get down those, really knock down those back walkovers and front walkovers and stuff
David.
for next season.
David, I swear, I'm so jealous of Jeff over here. I'm shocked he doesn't talk about it enough, or not at least plugged it into the episode at least once a week. But David and I are Izzy and Everly are struggling on those walkovers and front walkovers, and you got Jeff over here with Rubes just three back overs in a row. She's now doing a back walkover switch leg. She's working on handsprings now too, right, Jeff? Now she's getting
Yeah,
into back
she's
handsprings.
she's working on the back handsprings right now, which is really
Well,
awesome to see.
we'll miss her next season as she moves up to All Star. You know, we're gonna love her.
No, she's gonna want to be. I think she's very athletic and she's very competitive, but she wants to be with her friends. So she's not gonna want to move on until Everly and Izzy can move up.
So this is the real parent conversation right now, right? As we have this is what does come next, right? I've fallen into this trap to the social media of like, Izzy's level 3, forget prep, we're out of here. But that's not the case, right? You gotta kind of figure it out. But we don't know what we don't know. So Jeff, I want to ask you because you're very protective in a healthy way of the best interest of your daughter. You understand sports very deeply. How do you know when you're pushing your daughter, when pushing your daughter forward is helping versus putting that pressure on her?
I think you learn it from when we played sports because I feel like we grew up in an era where your parents are kind of hard on. I mean, my dad was super hard on me. He wanted me to perform because he knew I could perform. But sometimes you get pushed to a level where you're like, man, I'm just done. I mean, there was one time I was in the batting cage and a ball hit me in the thumb and it cracked and broke my thumb. And I couldn't hit the ball anymore and it was hurting my hand. But, you know, and my dad to this day will tell you that he feels extremely bad because he didn't know that I broke my hand, but I was trying to push myself to make him happy. You know what I mean? Even though it was every time I hit the ball, it was just that much more painful. And so when I can see it in her face that she's maybe struggling even a little bit, I'll ask her if she's okay. Hey, Ruby, are you okay? Do you want to keep going? Don't feel like you have to impress me. I want you to be safe and I want you to have fun. And the minute it's not fun for you, we're done.
Mhm.
And I want you to be competitive and all that, but with competitiveness comes fun. And yeah, so I just watch her. I look for, visual cues, especially. So once it gets to that point where you can kind of tell that she's stressing, we're done. We'll move on.
You're a very aware dad. I will say that, man. You're very cautious. You're very aware
Thanks.
of knowing how Ruby is feeling. When she does shut down versus when she wants to go. I know at the beginning of the season it was a little bit of I guess I kind of want to bring that up because you navigated that and we're so kind of, yeah, pushing, but not pushing. How was it in the beginning of the season when first few weeks in, the stomach was hurting at practice? She wasn't really feeling it. Why did you, in those moments, what signals did you get that were like, okay, but I am going to push hard here versus saying, oh, okay, this isn't really for you. This isn't something you want to do. How did you distinguish in that moment in the beginning of the season of like, no, this is one of those moments where I'm not going to let you bail out. Like, I got to be the one to push you and hold you accountable versus, hey, I know this isn't for her. We need to kind of ease up.
Right. So I attribute it to we tried soccer. The first sport we tried with her. I wanted to get her in sports because I really feel like kids that become athletes become great adults. You know what I mean? Just the structure of athletics and being an athlete, being competitive, prepares you for later on in life. So I wanted her to be in some kind of sport. So we tried soccer, right? Let's just, our friends were in soccer. Let's just try soccer. And she hated it, man. And we went all season and she would just run around and didn't really know what to do. And she was done. After that, she's like, I don't want to play anymore. Got it. But then, we tried she wanted to do dance. So we took her to the dance class, and the dance class didn't let us in the room, and we had to watch from down a hallway. We weren't allowed to talk to the instructor, and it was it. We were done. She was like, she goes, I like dancing, but I don't want to do this anymore. And you can kind of tell she was done. That was it. She didn't do it at home. She didn't want to do it at home. She was done. Then we're like, well, you like cheerleading. We took a tumbling class. She was doing really good at it. She took the prep cheer class at USA Gym. She loved it. And so they gave her the secret invite that you guys didn't get, just me. And so we're like, okay. So we tried out. She made the team, and man, at home she would do cheer all the time, right? I could see her doing the moves, doing the counts, singing the song, doing the counts, and then when it got hard, and they didn't put her up front, or she was actually up front, and then Cohen and Carly found out she couldn't do a back walkover, so they moved her to the back. And the minute she moved to the back, she was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this
Mhm.
anymore. So she started having stomach aches, and no, I don't want to downplay the stomach aches, because she really was having stomach aches, and we got that fixed. So it wasn't like she was doing it on purpose, but yeah, it was crazy, man. But she was still doing it at home. She was still doing
Mhm.
cheer at home. And I'm like, I kind of tell you like this. You just don't like that you're not number one.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't like that the skills are hard and you're gonna have to push through. So I'm like, why don't we at least try to get you into the private lessons with Coach Cohen and see where we go from there? And she did it. She learned the back walkover, and now you got to see her. She's all in. You know what I
She's
mean?
all
So,
in,
and again,
all in.
right, that's where we go. So I just I kind of, at home, when I noticed that she was doing everything and she was still cheering at home, even though she didn't like it while she was there, I knew she wanted to do it. I knew she wanted to do it. And that's why I didn't let her quit, because I knew that she wanted to do it.
Yeah. David, as you kind of look at, and shout out to Rubes, because she did do a full evolution. It's been so cool to watch these three girls from where they started to where they are now. Our girls weren't the best in the class to start, but I feel like next season they're going to be some really strong vets and really be able to lead now and start get comfortable with the counting and the smiling a little bit more than they were this first season learning stuff. Um, David, as we kind of talk about what's next, like for me, I wanted Izzy to move up. With you, what should factor into that decision besides talent? Like in knowing, hey, I'm gonna do prep one more year, or did it ever cross your mind to take Everly to the next level? Or are you deciding for her that she's doing prep outside of just the talent side of it versus like, well, I'll hold her back for one more year, or no, we're gonna double down and go, up to the next level. What's kind of been the decision process for you during that?
Yeah, I just think for me, it was, this year was a year of coming in and being the newbie, right? And having to learn and not really know stuff and have to come in and like the coaches don't know who you are. The coaches don't really know what you can do or not. And it took her, like I said, basically this long in the season to show the coaches like, hey, I can do more than what you guys are giving me. And so for me, it was just, I think she needs a year of just that being to build that confidence up even more and to really get to be a huge part of the routine. Like right now, there's whole parts of the routine that she's not doing at all. And to go from that to going into All-Star, it would basically end up mean there'd be another year of her in the back, trying to hide and things like that because she can't have the skills. So I want her to be able to excel and be really good and be one of the best that are out there before I go to the next level and really challenge her. Now I don't want to keep her on long enough where all of a sudden like it's not challenging at all. But I do think that she has another year of being challenged by prep. I think there's still a lot of things that are challenging for her that next year at prep will still be a challenging level for her.
Let me ask you this, throw you a curveball. Let's say at the end of this season at banquet, they actually do pull you aside. And because we don't know what we don't know, we're speculating. We're doing what all these parents do of my kid's not ready. I don't know if they can make all star. Oh, this or that. What if Carly and Colleen pulled you aside or their gym did and was like, we would like Lev Everly to step up to level one all star this year and have her try out in May. Then how does that conversation go for you and Everly? And what do you do in that kind of situation? If just gosh forbid, they said she could move up and you thought maybe she wasn't ready, but they were like, no, we could use her. We have some spots for her. And they brought her up or invited her to. How does that impact your decision?
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely I would think about it more for sure. I'd have a lot of follow-up questions
Like what?
like what do you
What would it be?
mean?
The cost, the travel, the
Well,
time, the
because
emotional
so
readiness?
there's always this issue, right? Because All-Star is more expensive, right? And
Okay.
so there's always this, feeling that gyms might accept just whoever tries out because that's more money for them, right? Telling someone they don't make the All-Star team ultimately means one less person, why not just form another All-Star team and charge everyone more money? And maybe that team doesn't win and they're not very good, but you get
They're
paid
making
for it.
money.
There's always that concern, right? So my question would be like, yeah, what do you see in her that you think could be, makes her, eligible for All-Stars? What skills that you're looking for? All those kinds of things. Are you saying she's could be an All-Stars because, she works hard and she could be good by the end of next season, or you think like she can be good day one? Those kind of questions of just knowing what's best for her. Because ultimately the gym is, they have alternative motives as well, right? And so the more money people that get to go to All Stars, they need to fill those teams as well. If everyone's feeling the same way, not signing up for All Stars,
Hot take.
they got to fill those spots.
Hot take from David.
Yeah.
I like it. I
I
like
don't.
the
I
spiciness.
can't say anything about our gym as far as listening, but I see it all the time with dance, and you hear parents talk about it as well. You see people make teams at higher levels where you're like, they were one of the worst people on our team last year, and now they're on the higher level,
Interesting.
and you realize like nobody didn't make the team who tried out, and that's always.
Mm.
I don't want to try out for a team that everyone makes and is also twice as expensive. I don't think she's ready for, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think, on my side with Izzy, it's been interesting. At first, it was a joke. I really did, I'm not even going to try to hide it or lie. I'm very confident that my daughter's found her thing and could definitely be a flyer for the next 20 years. And she enjoys it. She's really into it. So I don't also want to risk holding her back because of my own concerns, right? Of the cost, the travel commit. I would never want to do that to my kid. I wouldn't even do it to my spouse or my partner or my friends of like, hey, hold you back because of my concerns. So at first it was a joke, right? You guys laughed. I was like, yeah, we out. We moving on up. But then as we got closer, I was like, listen, I I don't know where my daughter's at. I think in my head that she could do things, but I also know she cannot do a back walkover. She cannot even do a front walkover. She cannot do a switch leg. Like I know certain things that she is still working through and she's very close. But then at the same time, comp doesn't start again until 2027, right? They get 6 months. So can from now, April, from now, this period, end of season to next comp season, could she be ready though as she worked through the routine? It makes you think of this stuff, right? But for me, I think staying one more year in prep. We've made a pact. We are a crew. We all go together. And I want to see her be a vet, right? I want her to lead the room. I want her to feel a lot better. Let it be second nature. Work on the sass, work on these things, get these moves down. And one lady DM'd me and actually told me that the rule of thumb, correct me if I'm wrong if you hear this episode or we go through this, but you basically do 2 years at every level. That's like the go-to rule. So you do 2 years of prep, then you go do 2 years of level one, then you do 2 years of level two, and you kind of move in that motion. Now, once you get to 2, 3, you can kind of move quicker and get into like getting called up or doing dual enrollment at different levels. But I guess it's like, no, do your 2 years of prep, get that in there, then you go to level one and kind of see how it goes. So we'll be, we're definitely going to do another year of prep is what I'm saying. But it is that conversation of, do I hold my daughter back or because you guys were mad, right? I was like, well, I'm gonna at least let her try out in May. I was like, you
I
know
wouldn't
what?
say
Let her
we
try
were
out.
mad, but
Oh, you were mad.
yeah, I mean, I
I'm
get what you
shooting. I'm
want to say.
shooting fires. I'm
We,
shooting
we,
shots.
we
I
weren't
don't
we
think we were
weren't
mad,
mad.
but
We were disappointed.
You
Tom.
were disappointed and
disappointed.
concerned parents. The concerned
Well,
parents.
we
of
don't want to
the
hold
group.
any kid back, but like you said,
Yeah,
Tom,
same.
you're like they're gonna have this 6 months to learn these skills. That's all well and good, but they've never done this skill in competition.
I
You know what I mean?
no
So
Yeah.
if
no.
you learn the skill in a prep level, and then you're put into the competition, think about that. Think about how much better you're gonna be going to All Stars, or how much more confident your daughter's gonna be when she goes in All Stars, knowing that she did that skill in a competition.
100%.
That's where I'm at.
100%.
I
That
just
is
think
yeah.
that I really think that our girls have learned so much this year, and they're gonna have all summer to work on these back walkovers, front walkovers, cartwheels into, working on their arabesques, working on all of it. Maybe even doing some needles. What's up now?
Hey, hey,
Working on their heel locks, working
I'm
on
I'm
tightening the butt and sucking in the gut. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then next year when they're in the competitions again and we're getting first place and taking Top Gun down, you know what I mean?
Hey, I hear you.
But
I
I just think that that's going to prepare them that much more for the all-star level, so that when they get to all-stars, it's not going to be a shock. They're going to be able to do all the stuff that they've already
No,
done it in competition. So,
I think that's a big
and
piece
that
of
way
it.
they're
Can you
not
do
being
it in
hidden
comp?
in the back of the all-stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the big
Yeah.
question, right?
Well,
Is can they do it in comp?
comp season, yeah. Well, comp season may be 6 months, 8 months away, but they do the casting for the routine in August,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
right away.
So I mean,
yeah.
Ruby was able to be able to do the back walkover and then get added into the routine, but it's not
That's just a
normal
rarity.
for them to change the
Yeah, I
routine to
could
do
end
that.
up going to
They're
All
going to upgrade
Star.
the routine for sure and things like that, but
Yeah,
all I don't want is Everly to go into that and show up and be the one kid on the team who's not doing back walkovers yet, and be
well,
like,
that too,
and her
or
just
be
have a
hiding in
year
the
of
back.
feeling like
Yeah,
I'm the worst person, I'm the worst in the team type thing. So that's always like, if I thought she could go in and be a big contributing member to the, even just a middle of the road contributing member, I'd be like, yeah, I think that's the time when you move up.
yeah,
If you wait till you're going to move up and you're going to be the best in the team, then you're just not challenging yourself. That's just not
yeah.
usually going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've come to agreement. I mean, it was crazy this past weekend at like on the way to showcase and stuff. My daughter was like, "Hey, I want to go to the other team." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I don't know what to do. I'm still kind of torn about it, but I also do believe and I'm in the agreement of I just wanted to do prep one more time. It'll be nice. It works out for everybody. I also am being selfish because next season my son will be 16. So when we go to All Star, I'll have a driver and I'll have somebody like out there doing some stuff. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe we do wait a year because next year when we go to All Star, we got the 16-year-old that makes it a little bit easier. Um, but it's just balancing opportunity versus pressure, right? Making sure you're doing what's right by your kid, letting them lead a little bit, look at them, but also take yourself out of the equation of what you want. Of course, I want my daughter to succeed. Of course, I want her to go. I'm dying for the travel aspect. I'm dying to go be at the bigger comps, go work on bids. But at the same time, I'd rather her be second nature for it than be building these skills in the mid season. I'd rather her just knock it out this next year, be strong, and then all three of our girls go up, in year 3, rocking it and are ready. So I like that. Cool. Well, now let's keep this one little fun debate in here because we are still us. We still do what we got to do, but we are switching it up this week. Set of hot takes. We're doing the dad debate of the week. Are you boys ready?
Let's go.
Because we're same spirit, less reckless, no grenades being dropped in the group chat. So I got to ask you both. Feel free to buzz in whenever you feel ready. What matters more in year 1, confidence or difficulty?
Explain what you mean by difficulty.
So what matters more in year 1? Your daughter gaining the confidence, going through what she's learning, she's right where she needs to be, or pushing and maxing out the potential to do the difficult things and push in the routine to do things. What would you say is more more matters in
Okay,
year
I see what
1
you're
as
saying.
a kid for your kid is establishing some confidence, doing the skills, doing some good things, or doing the only thing they can do to push themselves in every comp, every practice. They're pushing the difficulty of what they're trying to do.
I'm going to say confidence. I think confidence and also just building that love for the sport is the biggest thing for me. You hear that, in golf and everything else, that number one thing that we as dads suck at, right, is pushing our kids too hard, destroying the fun of the sport. And these kids, when you get to those higher levels and you're doing those crazy things, you need to love this sport. You need to love what you're doing.
100%.
Otherwise, you're going to burn out. You're going to hate it. And you see those people all the time. The junior, senior year, they're one of the better players, the team, better athletes, and they just quit
They
because
quit.
they don't actually enjoy this. Well, they're good at it, but they don't actually enjoy it enough to really grind it out. So you got to build that love of the sport. And I think that comes to confidence and having fun. It's hard to have fun and have confidence when you're just constantly feeling like you can't do the next thing because you're constantly being challenged.
Jeff, you
Yeah,
want to
man, it's not
debate?
going to be
You
much
got
of a
the other
debate.
side
It's
of
not.
that?
No, it's not going to be much of
Nah.
a debate, man. Because I
There you
agree, it's
go.
confidence and David's right. Like you want them to love the sport or they're going to quit. I mean, look at Johnny Football. right?
Mhm.
He probably still could be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but he even
Mhm.
on his little documentary, he said, "I hated playing football. When I went to Cleveland, I hated playing football." He said it had nothing to do with Cleveland, had nothing to do with being on Cleveland. He goes, "It's just at that point, I hated playing football. I was done. I was burned out and I hated playing football, and now look at him." So you're right. So the harder you push your kids and do the harder skill, you can do it. I know you can do it. They're gonna resent you and they're gonna hate the sport. So it's all about building confidence, man. And 100%, I think the first year, first, second, third year, whatever year, is building confidence, not pushing them to do the hardest skill that they can do. Because with confidence will come the harder skills.
Yeah. They're gonna naturally want to push themselves. They're gonna naturally want more and more because they love it versus it
Right.
just coming
That's just it.
from feeling this lack of not being adequate or not being good enough, and then they have to try to do more.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate, and just rile you 2 up just because it's for fun. But I almost also though, I mean, listen, I'm just built different because I think it's, in year 1, I want the difficulty. I cool with confidence, man, I get it. You want them to love the sport, do the things. I'm not saying be toxic and unhealthy and force my daughter to do things. However, I want her to do the uncomfortable stuff. I do not want her to coast through the year and just be like, "Cool, I'm feeling good." I want Colleen to break her. I think of like Batman, right? When Bane and Batman had to get out of that thing and climb that wall to get out of the hole, and he was just beat down every single day until he could get it through. Way toxic way to look at it. Not saying that's the healthy way to do it, but it's like I want to kind of break my daughter a little bit and letting her see different layers to herself, up the difficulty a little bit. That's why I'm excited that Kaween is kind of like and Carly are like, hey, get in the air. They're throwing her into a tee, a trust fall. I felt so grateful that they were doing that with her, and in privates, they're kind of tightening up with her because I'm like, guys, I want her to push her difficulty. I would rather my daughter leave. Uh, I guess this is where it gets a little sloppy, and I'll ask you guys because you kind of stated it, but it's like, would you rather your daughter leave year 1 believing in herself or doing harder skills? And I guess I would have
But
to, I
if she's
guess,
doing harder skills, is she not believing in herself?
right. Yeah.
If by
She's,
accomplishing those harder skills, is she not building confidence? That's the thing. That's where
yeah.
this is a tough debate. I don't really feel like it is a debate because it's through doing harder skills you build confidence. So, but to do harder skills, you have to
But
have
can difficulty
confidence.
hurt their
Yeah,
It's a
confidence
catch
if it comes
22,
too early,
man.
though? Yeah, because difficulty can hurt their
I
confidence if it
totally
comes
think
too
so.
I
early.
think I think unreasonable expectations can hurt it, right? So if you're going in week, this, and you're expecting her to do a round off, back handspring year 1, and she doesn't hit that, then she feels like she failed. Then yeah, but it's setting, goals that she can actually reach. I think a back walkover is a reasonable goal for year 1, right? And so when they hit that, they're super excited, and that's what builds confidence. So you have to have that. When I say confidence, I don't mean us sitting there, blowing hot air up their butts by telling them how great they are. That's not how you get confidence.
Yeah.
That's weak confidence that disappears the second you face any, adversity. I mean confidence like, yeah, those challenges of something they can actually overcome, and then getting to overcome it, and then recognizing that they overcame that challenge, celebrating it. Not just going into, okay, yeah, now do this. When she gets back back walkover, talking about how great that is. That was your goal. You accomplished your goal. Not just like, okay, well, now straight to the front walkover. And if you can't do that, then you're not good enough type thing. I think it's just how you celebrate it, how you enjoy it. But like Jeff said, like, you don't get confidence by not accomplishing hard things. You got to be able to do hard things, and that's how you get that. You build that confidence up that lets you think, I can do anything.
Yeah. I think confidence is, would you guys say confidence is the foundation for everything else later? Like the importance of being on a prep team and kind of going through this right now is going to literally set the foundation for how they go through the next 6, 7 levels as they progress over the next years.
Oh yeah, of course it is. 100%.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's also gonna, like I said, it's gonna push in past cheerleading,
Yeah.
past competition and past being an athlete. Like I said, the best thing you can do for your child is making them an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
like it.
Because it is because of the confidence, right? I wouldn't be in the position I am at work if I wasn't extremely confident and
Yeah.
knowing that
Yeah.
I could kick butt whenever I mean, when I go into an interview, when I was interviewing for jobs, I already thought I had the job. And that's how I conducted the interview. I
Yep.
wasn't cocky, but I
No.
was confident that I had the job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was just like, and I don't think I'd been that confident if I didn't have athletics and coaching and just that
It would be
lifestyle of
interesting.
competition.
Yeah. I think it sets the foundation for a lot of stuff. And so with that too, we see that in these kids later in life that did have those moments of confidence when they were in Pee Wee programs, they were in all these different things, Pop Warner, all of this stuff, because before we kind of bring this all home, we got to do a quick sports dad corner, right? We always got to kind of hit on that. It's been a while. We kind of had football end and all of that. But when you see these girls and these athletes and the confidence they bring, like March Madness has been nuts, right? And baseball's coming back, and you see the confidence from some of these athletes. Like Jeff, I got to ask you, being a U of A guy, how did it feel watching U of A kind of make it to the Final Four after 25 years and watching these kids kind of go through March Madness, knowing they had a chip on their shoulder, people rooted for them, they're not closers, they're rooted against, and now they're here watching some of those kids with the confidence they have of like, hey, we can actually win this thing.
Oh man, it's wild, man. It's really cool because they have a fantastic team. They have on paper and on stats, nobody can beat U of A. And they're just they are that team, and just to see them actually play, because the whole first half against Purdue, I was like, oh, here we go again.
Yep.
It's the
Mhm.
same old
Yep.
Yep.
Wildcats. We're out. Here we go. But then that second half, they came in and they didn't just beat Purdue, they beat Purdue.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so it's like it's that confidence, right? So, and the same thing with the kids. The same thing. You can attribute that confidence to practice, coaching, and just athleticism. And I think that's why our kids do so good in competition, is because they have that same kind of athletic confidence. You know what I mean? They're like, we got this. We're not afraid. Let's go. Let's step it up. Let's go. And then Cohen and Carly have them do their little dance.
The
And for some
dance. Yep.
reason, that little dance that they do completely gets their mind off of any kind of fear or any
Twitchery.
kind of, oh man,
Twitchery.
and they just perform and they perform.
Yeah.
So
Um,
shout out to Cohen and Carly, man, because they
that's
they
it,
are
right?
them coaches. They are them coaches. They truly are, man.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool is you can do a lot of cheer programs. There's not a shortage of cheer programs. I think there's some big gyms, small gyms, all these things that everybody can debate as they go into the summer and look at what they're going to do next. But I would say, if anything, focus on the coaching. Forget the gym, forget anything else, forget what affiliate you have, if they're varsity, rebel, any of that. Find your kids good coaches, right? And when you have that, lock into it, because I would definitely say it was a gift from the universe for us to be able to kind of have this first season that we've had and have the luxury of Cohen and Carly, because
Right.
they changed the game, man. And it's just like with U of A, when you're down at half, you go into the locker room, you're hearing those old thoughts coming again. Up, here we go again. We're that team again. We're going to blow it. We're going to miss out. And you have this coach that can pull a room together. And now they come out, they kick booty. Now they have a big giant to go up against with Michigan, because let's be real, also Michigan's gaining their respect too, that they are an actual squad. And David, what do you think about UConn taking down Duke? Does that switch up now that, like, does Michigan and U of A have a fair shot now with Duke out of the way? Do you think Illinois and UConn are even threats? Like, what's your take on kind of how the Final Four has ended up?
Yeah, like a big shot like that can go one of two ways. Sometimes it can kind of feel like anticlimactic going to the next game, right? You have this big moment, you feel like great and stuff, and then you go to the next game and it's just you're trying to like replicate that feeling. It's just hard to do. So sometimes you see these teams that have these big, massive comebacks and things like that, and then the next game they just can't, end up getting eliminated the next game. So it's hard. It will be interesting to see how UConn comes out, if they can get that momentum going and keep it going. But I think U
Who's
of
your
A's
pick?
got to be the favorite at this point. Yeah, U of A
Who's
would
your
definitely
pick?
be
U
my
of A?
U of A. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff,
Once they got
U of
past
A
that
for you?
Final Four, like we talked about before, they always seem to
U,
choke
U of
early, but
A U of A has always been my pick, and just because I think, like I said, on paper they're that team, and when they're playing, they are that team, and they are unstoppable. I think the only thing, especially with basketball and any basketball team, if you have a team that can make 3-pointers over and over and over again, no
It's
matter
deadly.
how good you are,
It's
you can't
deadly.
beat
You
that.
can't
And
close
that
that gap.
happened to U of A. Right. That happened to U of A 4 years ago when they played Buffalo in the first round. U of A
Mhm.
was playing their butts off, but Buffalo hit every
Every
single three.
single.
They were throwing up threes behind their back and it was going in. So, and they ended up losing to Buffalo. And that's the problem is Michigan can hit threes. And that's how Michigan plays. They play for the three game. So, man, it's going to be, if Michigan's
But
on
don't
their three
forget, if
game,
their
it's
3
going to
game
be
isn't
a
good,
tough
then they
game.
get beat, right? That's the thing, though. If the 3 game isn't on, they
Right.
get
It's all
cooked.
or nothing.
Yeah,
Michigan literally, if they're not hitting their threes,
they're
they're
game
cooked.
over.
But
They're cooked.
Michigan's a good team, man. So
Yeah,
I honestly, no disrespect to UConn or Illinois, but the
it's gonna be
final
one of
is right
those.
now against
It's
U of
right
A
now.
and Michigan.
Whoever wins that,
It's against U of A and Michigan
100%.
because
And I'm
UConn and
torn.
Illinois.
Yeah, they're not really. They got there from the Cinderella stories, the moments where Duke shouldn't have lost that. Duke lost that game themselves. UConn was not in a position to win that game. They were 1 for
Yeah.
18. They were 1 from 18 from threes, man. And then ironically win the game on a 3. Duke
Yeah.
messes up and trying to just do too much. Duke lost that
All
game.
he needed to do was hold the ball.
That's it.
All he
Kentucky
needed
did
to do
not
was hold
beat
the
them.
ball.
Kentucky didn't beat them. They just had a bad mistake happen, right? It's like having a fall in the cheer. You just had the fall. It wasn't your day. You had the fall. It is what it is, right? But I really do think that come this Saturday, watching Michigan and U of A, whoever wins that game will 100% be the March Madness champion of
Oh,
2026
I
for
definitely
sure.
think the Michigan U of A
same.
game is the
Yeah,
championship.
it's the
Again,
championship.
no disrespect.
Yeah.
I have a friend that played football for Illinois, and I've already told him, and he called me out on it, but it is.
Hey, you got to root for your team.
The
You got to root for your
championship game
team.
is.
Hey, listen,
I
you got to
get
root
it,
for your
man.
team.
But
You know. But I think those juggernauts are too big. I'm torn. My wife and her whole family are U of A connected. I was an ASU kid. And then I have my family on my side who are all Michigan fans. I grew up a Detroit Red Wings household, a Detroit Lions, Michigan Wolverines football, basketball.
that's a shame.
So
That's a shame.
listen, dude, relax. All right. I'm a Tampa Bay fan, but we don't have Florida's not in it. They choked. They're not in it either. So I can't even root for Florida. So, but
Oh,
I would
they
say,
choked.
I want to root for U of A. It's in my backyard, but I'm gonna go Wolverines. I'm just gonna rile you guys up. I think
Oh my
Wolverines
God.
gonna do it. U of A ain't gonna close, and you're looking at Michigan Wolverines winning the 2026 March Madness. I said it. Record it. Too bad. All right.
Boy, okay.
One thing that we don't know is it connects. One thing that connects all of this as we talk sports, we see what these kids go through March Madness is even at our level, at our girls' level, you still see those little moments of composure and nerves in cheer as they walk on the mat. We've got regional summit. We got our March Madness coming up, man. Like this is it. This is a finale. Had a bumpy road this season, hoping for podium, getting that first place. Jeff's already called it. We're walking out natty champs. It'd be great to win again. So we'll see what happens. But I think the girls are not nervous at all. I think they're going to have a great time. I think this is going to be the best performance they do simply from just a fun standpoint. They're going to come and rock it and have a great time. And that's all I care about. If they win, they podium, I really don't care. I think they're just going to bring their best because it is the final and they're just at this point of the year that they just love what they're doing. They're having a good time with their girls. That's what I think. So, what is an outcome for you guys as I'll end here? What are you hoping for, David, out of this last competition that Everly's going to walk away with? Is it podium? Is it doing something cool? What are you kind of hoping for out of the big finale for her as she closes out?
Yeah, I'd love to see a big redemption story for them. They got last place, last two events, had the fall, had some low score in the last one. We've upgraded the routine in a lot of different ways. I think the girls have really committed, been practicing really hard. So I'd love to see them, pull off the big score and get first place. But ultimately, I just want to see them get to that big improvement in that score, get that score up, hopefully get the highest score of the season, finish strong. And like I said, all you got to do is try to beat the rubric. And what other teams do, you can't really control.
That's it. What about for you, Jeff? What's the big thing you're working for the team and Rubes to walk away with as they close out?
I mean, we got nothing to lose, baby. We got nothing to lose. So I just want them to come out. I want them to go big. Let's go big and let's go home. We got this. You know what I mean? And all these girls, it's going to be awesome, man, because every single girl on our team, shout out to them, shout out to their parents. They're fantastic. and they're going to bring the thunder, and we know it, man. We know it.
Been a ride.
We have the coaching, we have the coaching, and we have the athletes. We got this. So I'm not
It's
concerned at all. I know we're going to bring the thunder, and it's going to be a good time, man.
it's been a great season across the board, just being embraced in this cheer world, getting a taste of it. If you ain't in it, you ain't in it. You don't get it. You know, you just don't. This was an underground world to me for the last many years. I'm not going to announce how old I am. You know, I don't want to throw that out there, you know, but it's many moons that I have never known that cheer world existed. It was sideline cheer. It was football. I had no idea what I've been missing out on. I kind of wish I got Bella in this when she was like a baby coming out the womb. Straight up, get the cheer shoes on. Let's do it, baby. Right day one. But I'm very excited for what's to come. My biggest thing is I'm hoping for that these girls, I'm not even caring. I don't even care if we get deductions. I don't care if we have a couple mistakes. What I really, really want these girls to do for this competition is seriously bring the true showmanship. I want to see the most nastiest, gnarliest faces, the shimmy shoulders. I want these girls snapping on count. I want them to just forget the count, forget all the technical stuff. I just want you to put that face on and enjoy this last comp that you have. Who cares if you podium or not? We're not trying for nothing. We're in prep. We're not going to bids. We're not doing all this, but show up and just get that face and get that excitement, because you're going to be sad when you come off that stage after that 2.5 minutes and you've got a year now before you're on a comp stage again, right? That's it. There is no comp stages for a whole year almost, right? Before they're back at it. So that's it for me. But man, if this first season has taught me or you guys anything, it's that this world is way deeper than I ever understood. As like I said, it's just a deep underground world that if you ain't in it, you ain't in it. But I've got a lot more respect now for these athletes, the coaches, the teams, the work that's put in, the parents, as I'm sure you both do too, right? Just getting to expose this stuff. And more than anything, I think we're just really proud of our girls. Almost shed a tear, you know, little dad moment. You're just proud of what your girl's done in embracing the sport. We've got one more comp, 4 practices left. And no matter what happens at Summit, I think year one already did what it was supposed to do for these girls. Our girls grew. We grew. let's call it what it is, gents, from when we started. And we're leaving this season with way more understanding, gratitude, and love for the sport than when we had when we started. So appreciate everybody rocking with us. We're just getting started. Next week, we do have a fun one coming. We have the legend, the myth himself, the cheer comedian of the world. Most everybody, if you're in the cheer world, you know Jay. He is an incredible spirit. He is a comedian. He is a teacher. He has a daughter in All-Star, and he just lets us dads know what we're thinking and doing is normal. He is in the same boat. He makes jokes at it, and he's going to chop it up with us. So we are hyped for that. You will see that on our next episode. He's going to come down and just kind of chop it up of what it's been like being a cheer dad on his side. So stay tuned. We appreciate everybody rocking with us, supporting us. Again, like, subscribe, share, tell another cheer dad. This is Cheer Dads Unfiltered, and we are here for every count. I'll see you later, Jen.
See ya.
No cap.